And it's OJ Pasharella, the Incredible Minister of Happiness. You already know? Relationship with money is alhamdulillah.
Got this feeling down deep in my soul that I just can't lose. 'Cause I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Needed a friend, and the way you feel now, I guess I'll do it you till the end. 'Cause I'm on my way. I might stuck on you. Been for so long, I guess it's time for me to come along. 'Cause I'm on my way. So how does she thought I would like you, but waiting for a man like me? 'Cause I'm on my way. I'm mighty glad you stayed.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nneka Moses, and it's my privilege and my honor to be one of the hosts for today. I will be working with the very amazing, the very dynamic, the very elegant, proper English-speaking Queen Rita. Please put your hands together for Queen Rita.
Thank you very much, boss.
May I say that I am the local one here, I'm the Raz one here. Mona Lisa, the convener, is posh. Queen Rita is very posh, she's a broadcaster. So any name that is wrongly pronounced is their fault. Any action that is wrong is their fault. Any diction that is wrong is their fault. But anything that is done right, that's my fault. So please give me my flowers as we move along. Yeah. I celebrate every woman that is here. I celebrate your struggles. I celebrate your triumphs. I celebrate your victories. And I celebrate everything you have had to do to stand and to survive in a world that tries to dominate women. Congratulations, keep moving, keep standing, God bless you. Please make up your mind, should I yap Mona Lisa or yap you? And then she turned. You know Mona Lisa is always nervous. Even when you have not called her name, she's nervous. She's already on manager. Some guy that wears people to cover up the hips that don't lie. When she's wearing jeans, everything is swaying. Then she come and wear poo-poo. You now say, baby, this your bum bum is shaking. She say, I will not walk again. She start walking like this.
Oh my goodness. We want to especially welcome you here this afternoon. The Arise Monalisa Foundation has been doing this it's almost a decade now, really, touching life in different sectors, health sectors, going on outreaches, talking about visiting orphanages, internally displaced persons. The activities are numerous. And in case you don't know why we are here, this is March. And it is the World, what do you call it now? The World International Women's Day is March 8th, but this month, and I'm thinking every other month, is Women's Month. Can we please put our hands together for all the women here, and the women in their lives, and the women in your life? Thank you very much. So this, first let's apologize because we're taking off a bit late. So I would say if you check your time, it is by this event 2:30, whatever it is, just adjust it. It is 2:30, that's our takeoff time. I want to quickly run through some a list of recognition. We will keep doing that as the event unfolds. Yes, Jose, you want to kick off with that?
In a world where the Gen Z people are taking over, and everybody knows only the Gen Z stars, and then it's all about how many people are following you on Instagram. I remember those people that became stars in the days when there was no internet.
Yes, sir.
And everywhere they go, people knew them. If you are a celebrity in Lagos, you are a celebrity in Kano, you are a celebrity in Anambra, you are a celebrity in Enugu, you are a celebrity in Ogun State, you are a celebrity in Bayelsa, because that was when being a celebrity had to do with hard work, commitment, and consistency. These people started this rave and they made a difference just talking about tourism and the beauty of Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, please celebrate with me Mr. Moses and Mrs. E. We celebrate the Goge Africa!
Let me tell you a story. I think in 2016.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to recognize also an amazing woman of God, a woman of the word. We celebrate you, Pastor Nneka. God bless you. You're welcome. During the event, I looked at the back of the hall and I saw a familiar face, and I told myself, it can't be her. She's not the one. It cannot be her. How can it be her? She cannot be here. Number one, I left her in Lagos. Number two, she does not live in Abuja. Okay. Number three, she's not wearing wig. Number four, she's not dressing glamorously. Number five, she's acting as if she doesn't want anybody to see her. So I want to think that she's the one, but she might not be the one. In case she's not the one, people should pretend that she's not the one. If she's the one, people should give her a rounding sound of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing actress Chioma Chukwuka. Are you going to tell me who I'm introducing? I said she's Chioma. Am I the MC or you are the MC? She's my sister. For the purpose of this event, cameramen, help me video so that they will think Chioma came. Ladies, when I say just stand up and pretend that you are the one. The city of Lagos, the amazing celebrity actress. Put your hands together for the make believe Chioma Chukwuka. You see?
They are so real.
They are not the ones that.
But you know, in every such series,
the real housewives are in their husband's house. They are on television. Say the television housewives of Abuja. Let's not confuse ourselves.
Wait now, you have to start your own series.
Okay, don't be angry.
The television housewives of
Don't take it personal. This is what you get when you are MC. Now, Monalisa will be controlling you.
Now here's the thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and celebrate with us. OJ
Sharola. Can we put our hands together for her? And of course, thank you so much.
Stephanie has just been intimidating me with that outfit. That outfit, you know what? We're going home together. I'm collecting that.
It's her personality. It doesn't matter what she wears.
You will see that outfit.
That aura is always there, no matter what she wears. Just leave it. Now follow come.
And I don't like people.
It's not
I don't like people that use perfume that intimidate you. Your perfume is. Please, if you don't want,
please stand your attention.
If you don't want to put your hands together for Stephanie, put your hands together for her perfume.
Stand at attention, please. I want to introduce somebody. I'm told Bose to stand up. Everyone knows me. Bose.
TSP.
Sorry.
PRO. The only reason why I did not interrupt when they were introducing you is not because I respect your uniform. It's not because I respect your post. You see? I know that. You see, no matter how much you wear uniform, once you have a child, she will control you. see the person that is controlling you. see. Me, I'm afraid of you, but see the person that's controlling you. She's less than 10 years old. As soon as she came close to you, you became humble. If I want you to go out of here now, I just say that come and tell you she wants to wee with you. You just create the You see somebody that is looking very posh, fine guy. That did not dye his beard, the thing is white naturally, and you are mispronouncing his name.
Ambassador Ekene, can we please put our hands together for Ambassador Ekene? There's always a shortcut to everything.
Ambassador Ekene, please help us pronounce your surname because she might write it in jump.
Atosioba.
Where am I jamming though?
Welcome faces, and I believe that this program is going to be very wonderful. But before we do that, before we go into the main program, let's commit it to the hands of God. Are you ready? Yes. All right, please, can we stand on our feet? We thank you. We thank you for the privilege of life, the privilege of freedom, that we can gather whenever we want to gather, and smile whenever we want to smile. These are little things that we are truly grateful for. Thank you for life. Thank you for good health. Because if anyone was seriously sick, they won't be here today. Thank you for the convenience of this program. Thank you for the people who sat down and made up their minds that this program was worth doing. Father, we commit every aspect of this program into your hands, and we decree and declare that it will be peaceful, it will be insightful, it will be illuminating in the name of Jesus. Beautiful collaborations that will bring fruitful progress in our country and in our society, and even for individuals, in the name of Jesus. Father, we commit from the beginning of this program to the end, and we say, have your way in the name of Jesus. We thank you because even you, God, and your Son, Jesus Christ, you do not just give equality to other women, you also gave them equity. It was you, Lord, as Jesus here on earth, because you gave women voice long before we even started asking for our voices to be heard. Thank you for every woman here. Thank you for every man here who believes in the work of women, who believes in the future of women. Thank you for everyone who has gathered here, and we ask that you have your way completely. Thank you for the convenience of this. Make it a huge success. Lord, we decree in the name of Jesus that their next level will be better and brighter in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Everyone who you have your way and take all the glory. In Jesus' most powerful name we have prayed. Amen.
الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم قل أعوذ برب الناس مالك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد قل هو الله أحد Allahu Samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know that this is a women's event.
That's right.
All the men that you are here, if my joke is not funny, just laugh. Because we will not serve you pop-off. All the women, I know that you will laugh naturally. You know why I found out that? Me, because I represented them. I did not know that they were just using me as an excuse to be fat. As soon as I lost weight, since I have lost weight now, and I now have a sexy shape now, they are now jealous of me. So when we say their show now, performing, the passion person, they now say their husband, we are not going. You will be looking
For Mona Lisa, no. I always do that. Sometimes I will say to you and I, but it's Arise time. Can we please arise as we welcome the founder, the convener, the initiator,
The life changer, the impact maker, the delectable, the beautiful, the amazing, the impact maker of my lecture, Mona Lisa
Red. I see my honorable pastor wearing a beautiful red dress. I didn't want red in this particular event for special reason because we're all celebrating ourselves and we also represent the earth, Mother Earth, represent the nation, represent states. So I just wanted us to wear warm colors, you know, and I see very good close friends of mine wearing black. And she knows herself and knows himself as well. After now, we're going to meet backstage to sort this out. So thank you so much. All protocols duly observed. I'm going to read my speech, but I won't take up everything. I'm just going to read the ones I highlighted. And let's give ourselves a hand of applause. First of all. Thank you so much. And I see my big auntie, Nneka, looking all dazzled in my warm earth tone color. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so we all know what International Women's Day and Women's Month is all about. We're here to actually celebrate ourselves. This is what this whole gathering is about. Celebrating men who are dominating the female space and also the men who have embraced their feminine sides and doing so well in that space. I want to say thank you for the he for she's. God bless you. And I also want to thank the women. We know we're powerful people, whether the men like it or not. That is who we are. If you want peace, we'll give you peace. If you want hell, we'll double it for you. So however the case is, anyhow you want it, love will give you double dose of it. And I want to say thank you for the women for leaving everything they're doing to come be here with me. Thank you so much. Today is the 26th of March 2023. The Arise Monalisa Foundation and her global partners and team in our yearly giving back gesture marks this grand month for Women's Day and Women's History Month. So women is a single divine denominator that connects all our homes, lands, nation states, planets, and even the universe are all referred to as mother. We have materialized in diverse forms as grandmothers, as mothers, as sisters, as wives, as daughters, as aunts, as cousins, and of course, we have come in forms of lovers, come in forms of teachers, advisors, leaders, guides, and sometimes as an enemy, and also as a friend. Finally, we represent the totality of all that which is undeniably sacred, encapsulated in the form of living muse and the goddess who guides the destiny of man and men. I'm just going to go to the last paragraph. Redefining traditional gender roles in this context means for us a systemic and natural flowing change in perspective and mindsets. That organic human system that allows a girl child aspire to become a mechanic, aspire to become a footballer, aspire to become a pilot, a soldier, and a boy child who also dreams of being a chef, a nurse, a hairstylist, and a fashion designer. And I know we have most of them seated here today. You're welcome. Times are changing very quickly, and a new generation and evolution is right here upon us. We have to embrace it. We therefore welcome you to the 2023 International Women's Day and Women's Month, History Month, which is Equity versus Equality, Redefining Gender Roles. God bless you all as you enjoy yourself. I remain yours, Mona. Thank you so much. Great. Poverty, healthcare, education, child abuse, cancer.
Let us march with the realization of the African dream, where unity is segregation. Let us march against nepotism. Let us march against greed. Let us march against poverty. Let us march against all men are created equal. Violence, murder, love, love, love. Love is a formula which goes back to man. This is the undiluted Monalisa. Join me at the quest for the absolute. You know what?
One more time, can we put our hands together for
Nigeria accounts for more than 1 in 5 out-of-school children anywhere in the world. Although primary education is officially free and compulsory, only 67% of eligible children take up a place in primary schools. Now, bit of time, there's only a low chance, about 25%, that a child will ever return.
Start a foundation and to work on the foundation. They are not like the regular person that is just running an NGO because it is a classy thing, or because it is in fashion, or because it is in season. Monalisa genuinely believes in what she's speaking about, what she's fighting for, and her compassion is high on every one of the things that she has just spoken about in that video. You see Monalisa talking about these things and she's red in the face and you're wondering, calm down. Calm down, you're one person, you can't change the world. But day by day, and that's why she has that power to tell some of us all the way from Lagos to say, I am doing something, come. Because we know that this is not just another event, it's not just another NGO. And this is what she's working towards. I celebrate her, I celebrate what she has been through, what she has gone through, and how far she has come. Monalisa, well done. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the amazing Monalisa. To fly. If not, all this will be a dream in a diary and it will never be put to use. Ladies and gentlemen, please, even when he's not here, please celebrate with me the husband of the convener, Mr. Koka. Please put your hands together for Monalisa's husband. Monalisa, you better stand up and clap. Your dowry is make sure it's on camera. Yes, even when he's not here, clap. Camera, I hope you got that one. So you can tell him now you are the clap for that time. Can I say so? Where is the alert? No, because you know we need that alert from him. You know your husband. Anytime you honor him like that, you know that's we follow.
Things that popped up is
some of the things that the Arise Monalisa Foundation has done in the past, amongst which is having free surgery for about 1,000 women so far, in collaboration with doctors on call and different organizations. And I'm talking about cancer, talking about lungs being taken out, and several amongst other things. And I'm saying this because it is something that has happened with consistency. Do you know that Arise Monalisa Foundation is actually 10 years?
Yeah.
They've been at this for a decade and still standing strong. I think that deserves.
And that's when we talk about 1,000 women benefiting from this over a period of 10 years. It's not a small thing. I know people who run foundation and they will not let us rest on WhatsApp. I am going to Motherless Baby Home tomorrow. Support me with Indomie noodles and I have never heard her do that. I'm not saying she doesn't raise funds. I'm saying she does not choke you with the need to do those things. And when she does those things, she does, if you go even on her page, this event, she talked about it almost as casually as any other thing. It wasn't a big deal, and that's why I celebrate it, because she's not all about the noise, she's about the work. Ladies and gentlemen, please one more time, please celebrate Monalisa. Now, that is the last time I'm saying anything to be too serious. Has it been serious? Have you been enjoying yourself? It's been fun. Say it, let her hear, because she's holding me my balance. Say it.
It's been so much fun. Monalisa, please add 2 million.
Let me go ask another person.
Yeah, I've been having so much fun, but I think it's okay.
You see, human beings. You don't think how much. You don't see how much she's paying me.
Don't say, calm down.
You don't even know if she's paying me kukuru and ekpa money. You're not saying it's okay, everything. Rita, you don't know how to play this game. Do you see? Rita, you don't know how to play this game. This is how to play this game. This is how you can be an APC member when you're voting for a Labour Party. This is how you do it. You think I'm talking to Monalisa, but I'm actually talking to her. Give me 5. I have to do it. That's how to do it.
Pastor Informa said, all the men here, in the spirit of International Women's Month, if you control your wife, come to this side. If your wife control you, come to this side. Everybody in the church, all the men without went to this side. Pastor Informa now went to Uncle Moses. He said, I'm shocked. I'm fascinated. You, an Igbo man, your wife control you? You are standing here and saying he said, I'm in charge. He said, you mean you are in charge of your hand in charge? I pay the dowry. When I tell her to sit, she sits. When I tell her to stand, she stands. Brother Isaac, are you sure you are the one that controls this one? He said, oh yes. Please, everybody in this church, it is their wife that is controlling them. Please take microphone and help me tell the men in the church how to control their wife. Uncle Moses collected the microphone. Said, oh yes, by the grace of God, I am an Igbo man. I'm in charge of my own. It was my wife that told me to come and stand here. They laid the foundation. Please, for his speech, put your hands together. Celebrate with me the legendary Mr. Zik Zulu Okafor.
What they're talking about. Okay, good afternoon, very distinguished audience. My name is Zik Zulu Okafor. And then I must confess, I wasn't expecting to be called up just like this at this moment. I mean, I'm not the chief speaker here, but here am I. And I'm a little bit shy. I'm a shy person. But anybody says, I'm going to let you know this. But I confess that Monalisa and I have had a creative journey of about 25, 26 years. From the moment we did Heaven's Gate, the films we've done since 1998. She's featured in all my films. And I have worked with her together in a couple of projects, including you and I, the Mona Lisa talk show. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to identify with this. And I'm particularly happy because this is a program that's not just celebrating, but it's talking about women. And I'm passionate about the cause of women. Some people say I'm weird. I said the human being I love most in this planet is my wife. Some say, what about your children? I say I love my children. I'm passionately attached to them. But the person I love most in this planet is my wife. I was telling Zik Moses and his wife Nneka, my friends, just this morning that I was relatively young when my mom, all of us were gathered together with my siblings. And we're talking about, and all of them said, whatever I do if I get married, my mom will still remain the number one person in my life. And I looked my mom in the eyeballs and I said, Mom, I said, once I get married, you become number two. I said, my wife will come first before you, and it never seems to be so. It is so. Today, we talk about women. We are talking about equity and equality. That's very important to me. Because equity, when you talk about equity, you talk about fairness and justice. And then equality, we are talking about parity. So we say men and women should be equal. But you see, in our Nigeria, in our nation, it's never been the same. And this is very important. And I think that women should also be champions of their cause. They have to constantly remind their husbands. Sorry, can the music tone down a bit? Man, love their wife. Woman, be submissive. So the submissiveness of a woman to her husband is actually conditional. If your husband can't love you, you will be silly to be submissive. And I also tell a woman that you have to be submissive, but you're not going to be subservient. There are two lines. Be submissive, obey. Don't be eager to please your husband. It is wrong. Be submissive. It got my home. And sometimes we disagree and my wife reminds me. And I said, yes, I agree. So I give her a peck behind her neck to let her know you're right. So it's very important for us to see, take our country for instance. Let's take our National Assembly. For example, in our National Assembly, since 1999, only 157 women have been elected into our National Assembly, where we make law that will guide the cause of justice. But men, 2,500 men have been elected, only 157 women. So you ask the question, where is fairness? Where is justice? So today, as we celebrate, it's also a sobering moment for us to know, and it's important, the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. There are 5 key things established. 1 is defeating hunger. 2 is, there are 5 of them you can add, your health and well-being. Number 5 is what? Gender equality. That's number 5. It tells you how critical is it. And let me tell you the philosophy behind the Sustainable Development Goals, because it's very touching. The philosophy simply says, so that no person will be left behind. You see what it is? That no one should be left behind. But in Nigeria, we are leaving the women behind and we are not thinking about it. It doesn't matter to us. So tonight, today, as we celebrate you, it's also a sober moment for the men to ask, are we adhering to the principle of fairness and equity and equality? If we're not doing that, we should be ashamed to celebrate our women. So when we are celebrating our women next time, let every man ask, how much have I contributed to achieve this? I love women because, whether you like it or not, women are more honorable than men. You know, stories of women stealing, very uncommon. So why are we not giving them the chance? They said that if we give them a chance today, in the digital age, in Nigeria, our nation will grow by 50%. If we give women enough chance. Why are we not doing it? I dare say that the women are the transformative change agents, and we need to do that. To summarize, Kenneth Counter said something very important. He said, for a long time, I have led my people in their shout of Kwacha, which means a new dawn. We have been shouting it in darkness, but there's a great light of a new dawn on the horizon, and I know that Zambia shall be free. So in Nigeria, we have been shouting, we've been making noise about it. It's been noise. But I can tell you that the women are standing up. They are emerging champions. And the sooner than later, a Nigerian woman will be president of this country. It will happen. Thank you. Finally, please as you go with this. When you go through challenges like women are going, you always know that it must pass. Because it is the challenges that change you. And that's why I will end with the words of the Reverend Father Jesse Jackson. You know that America, the blacks suffer so much. So when it was, for the first time a black was coming out for president, I was in America in 1992. When he spoke at the Democratic Congress, he said, when I was a child in Southern Carolina during the winter, and Mama couldn't afford a blanket, she didn't complain and we didn't freeze. Instead, she picked pieces of rags, pieces barely good enough to shine your shoes with. But they didn't stay that way long. With strong hands and sturdy cords, she sewed them into a quilt, a thing of beauty, culture, and pride. We didn't eat turkey on Thanksgiving days because Mama was off cooking someone else's turkey. With while I waited and playing football with hunger, till Mama comes and carrying the leftovers from the Miss Marshall's tables. I was born in the slum, but the slum was not born in me. Yeah. So the woman, you were born to take your place. Therefore, nobody can keep a woman down for too long. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. That is short.
All the beautiful women here. And of course, I'd like to thank Arise Monalisa Foundation for putting this international conference together in honor of all the amazing women. I know how hard women work. I know the things that we go through to achieve and to accomplish the things that we accomplish. And I don't think that there's enough acknowledgement of the work and contributions that women make to drive society and move the society forward. I want to start by saying that, first of all, women make up 50%, if not a little over 50% of the world's population. And many times when we hear about, there are so many conversations around, I always believe that everything starts with the conversation. Whether you're building relationships, whether they're professional relationships or personal relationships, everything starts with a conversation. Whether you're trying to address topical issues or provide solutions to problems, it all starts with a conversation. So there is a purpose for this conference. We're not just here gathered, but the conversation is important and we have to keep talking. We can't get tired of talking. Yes, gender equality every year, women this, women that, but we have to continue to speak so that people don't forget. Women are the womb of our society. Birth starts in us and with us. And truly, we are the creators of existence. Yes, 50% make up women, the rest, 50% are our sons. Of course, they may be your husband, but they're really somebody's son. So 50% women, the other 50%. And so if we talk about equality versus equity, some people might say that maybe equity is more important than having equality, but I think equality is important first. Amongst the genders, there needs to be equal opportunity. A level playing field so women have the same access and the same right to be able to achieve their aspirations and their goals. Now this is not something that is just morally right. It's actually economically wisdom. It makes sense, financial sense, because there's a woman in every household. And women make the best accounts, right? So men give their wives money to decide what happens within the home, and women make the buying decision. So if women spend the money, why shouldn't they make the money? If women can decide how to spend the money, why can't women's businesses be financed? Why don't we trust women to run businesses? to lead, to be in governance, if women can raise our children, why can't they serve us? Why can't they lead the country? So these are the conversations we need to be having. So I think it's important that first of all, we identify that equality is important. And the conversations about equality is not about competition. It's not women versus men. The empowerment of women is not the disempowerment of men. The upgrade of women is not the downgrading of men. In fact, men are actual beneficiaries. Beneficiaries of what women will achieve. Because in every home, you have a mother, you have a sister. Men, I see men all the time complaining about financial overhead. Why would you have financial overhead if you don't empower your wife at home to have a job and to earn as much so she can contribute to the household? Why would you have that overhead when she works in the same job, but a man who hasn't earned as much time earns a whole lot more than his boss? These are the conversations. Why do we diminish ourselves? So yes, equality is important, but also equity is important. Because even in our similarities, we have a lot of diversity. All women are not the same. We come from different tribes, we have different social status, education, and so if you look at that diversity, equity is important. It's important to play fair. What you give a Christian woman, you give a Muslim woman, a woman from the north, the south, the east, the west, black, white, Asian, whatever the case may be, we're all very diverse. So equity, yes, is still very important. To say that we need to make a shift. And there are 3 areas that I think that we need to shift. The first area I would say is to shift our beliefs. There's a belief system, obviously, that does not support and love women. There's a belief system that has been set up in the way that the bylaws of our countries hold women down. So we have to start changing our belief system. Also, women need to be the champions of their own cause, like my uncle said. We have to start to drive, and women have started, but I want to encourage us not to stop. That belief system needs to be in place where we realize that we are unlimited and we cannot be limited. And that power doesn't need to be given to you, you have to take your power. So you start with believing that irrespective of the laws that do not support your growth, you are blessed with talents, you're blessed with gifts, you're blessed with ideas. And if you look inward, the environment inside you and not the environment outside you, you can start to see things in a way and thrive. The other thing I would say is that we need to shift our perspective. Our perspective on how we see other women. You know, sometimes I hear people say, oh, women, oh, they can't get along. Oh, women, you know, women, sisters, empowering sisters, women supporting women. But we need to start looking at every woman as our sister, as our ally, as our supporter. It doesn't matter if you've had a bad experience with another woman. You have to see I keep telling people, I say, it doesn't matter what anybody does to me, I approach everything and everyone with love. Why? Because it enables me to not shape shift. It doesn't matter what you do to me, I don't match energy. I am this is who I am. It allows me to stay constant and consistent. But if you treat people based on how they treat you, you'll keep changing. That's the truth. If I walk into the room and you look at me in a funny way and I come back and I look at, I'm going to keep changing and I'm going to change to the next person and the next person and the next person. So we have to see everyone. It doesn't matter if you've had 1,000 bad experiences. Look, accidents happen every day and we still get into cars and drive. Plane crash every day and we still get into the plane. So even if you've been burnt by one sister, it's not a reason for you to not support women. It's not a reason for you to not align with women. I see it all the time. Men don't even need to know you for, you know, a man will walk into a beer parlor in 2 hours, he has a new business partner. That's right. He didn't know him from Adam. He's at the golf club and he's like, hey dude, what are you doing? The next day they're doing business together. Yeah. But women, they want to know, they want to have gone to high school with you, they know your sister. We're checking each other out, we need to have history. We don't need to have history. That's the truth. Why can't women come together and say, you know what, I'm not interested in politics, but I think you'll be a great governor and I'm ready to back you up. Okay, I have money. Or maybe I don't have money, but I have support, I have contribute. I can use my media platform and I'm ready to back you up. Men back each other up all the time. So why can't we, oh, you're starting a business in agriculture. I don't know anything about agriculture, but if you say this is how it is, I've looked at the numbers, I'm willing to invest. We have to be willing to work together. So we need to shift our perspective on how we see each other. I had to change my perspective because at first I was like, oh no, I only get along with men. But I realized that even in my business, women have been more supportive. I think when you change that, you start to see good. Like you see women differently. If you keep thinking good, you see good. If you keep thinking bad, you see bad. So you have to change your perspective. And as soon as I changed that, I started attracting like minds. Women who really just want to help you. A lot of the things that have happened to me have been done by women. And that's the truth. Women, oh my God, Alex, I know somebody who knew, oh, Alex is this, Alex, it's women. So I'm trying to say that it doesn't matter what your experience has been, you need to change, shift your perspective. The last thing I would say is that we need to shift our habits. What are the things that we are doing that are holding us back? Actions that we're taking that may not necessarily be pushing us to the next level we want to be. And I'd like to use an acronym. So in 2016, I set up this signature program called the Brag Factor. Sorry, I have a company called the Brag Media Company. But the Brag Factor, I'll just take the A. So B is for branding, R is for reinventing, A for align, and G for growth. But I'll take the A, align, because I think it's there's an action process there. So ALIGN. Now A stands for ask. No, do not be ashamed to ask. Ask questions if you don't know. The challenge is that most people don't like to ask. Most women don't like to. I don't want to ask. If you like her hair, ask. Auntie, where did you get the hair? It looks beautiful. Auntie, I love your dress. Oh my God, who did your makeup? Ask. But that's not just it. Ask for opportunities. Ask to be invited. Oh, I heard you're doing this. I would love to be there. Can I speak on your platform? That's not a bad thing. Oh, I didn't know that, how did you start this program? How did you start this business? Ask. Because they say the person who asks doesn't, he doesn't lose road, not the miss road. So ask. We cannot be ashamed to ask. Ask for what you want. Ask for your value. Ask for what you're worth. It starts with ask. Just keep asking and asking. I remember one time, and this is funny because I think it was, as an actor, I remember. And I was called to play, this is in 2007, it was an independent film. And they set up this budget and there was a lead role. And I remember the director was going to pay me $50,000. And I said, oh my God, could you please increase this? And he says, but you're not Dakori. You're not Rita. You're not, I said, I'm not, but I'm Alex Okorochi. And he was like, I said, look, I'm not doing this because I'm doing this because this is my work, this is what. And when I told somebody said, your first lead role, you're asking for more than 50K. I said, well, I'm just asking, let's see what happens. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I remember on that project, this was 2007, he paid me 200K. So look at the difference between 50 and 200K for asking. And I can say so many times that I only had to ask.
Ask, not beg.
Not beg. Ask for what you're worth. Because the value is not about, I'm not in competition with anybody. It's not about who you're matching, who you think you're worth, that's your value. Ask. And if you ask, you'll be surprised what the answer would be. But they say if you don't ask, the answer is already no. So the next one is L, leverage. We have to leverage the opportunities we get. Leverage the, like my sister said, Arise Monalisa Foundation has been doing so much great work. So much. Ways that we can leverage. Now not all of us are screamers, not all of us who come out and say, hey, see me, see what I did, see what I that. But if you have, for example, social media, you can use your social media to document. Like, for example, I'm not really actively online chatting with people, commenting and things. Not everybody saw it. But if randomly you found me by mistake and you go to the page and you see that there's a pinned post there, oh my God, wow, that's leverage. So you have to do things strategically and leverage the opportunities you get. The other thing I would say, I identify. Identify opportunities. Identify potential collaborators. Every time you walk into a space, identify. See, I know some people might just be here and be like, okay, I just sometimes it's not for now. It could be for 2 years later, for 2 months later, for whatever it is. But identify. Don't just just identify. Identify the time, identify the opportunity. I will now go to G, and G is give. We have to give. Find something to give. Even if you don't have money to give your time. Give your wisdom. Give your experience. It's something, we all have something to give. Monalisa has been giving for 10 years with the Arise Monalisa Foundation. Officially. But she's been giving in so many, and I'm sure all of us here are giving something one way or another. Many of us could be anywhere else, but we're in our time. So we're here. So find something to give her back. She's been wonderful, and that's how the relationship really starts. So we create real, deep, meaningful connections. And that way, we don't just get together and pay lip service, but we actually build sisterhoods, and we actually build communities of influence, so we get people together. So I'm going to stop here because I know I'm already taking too much time.
Ladies and gentlemen, can you please put your hands together for Alex one more time?
Like she said, we met Alex yesterday and it was just an amazing...
Give me your hand, everybody!
So I granted an interview for the International Women's Month, and one of the questions I was asked was, do you think we have done enough as women? Do you think we have done enough? And I said, I know I'm not like middle-aged and I'm not married yet, but I said that I think that we are not where we used to be. I think that we have come a long way. I think that we are not where we used to be. And even if we are recording wins and victories and we are recording milestones and steps that we are taking, it is still important that we keep the conversation of inequality alive. Because we can say that we have a seat at the table, and it is true. However, there are some people that do not even know women are supposed to be sitting. There are women that do not know they are supposed to be sitting. Women that do not know how to speak up for themselves. So it's important that while we are here, we've gone to school and we can afford certain things and we are given room in certain places, that we, as much as we can, go to the grassroots and remind little girls and even women that there is still work to be done, that your voice still needs to be heard. And that's why we do what we do. That's why events like this are important. That's why poets like me are important. Because we keep the conversation going. So somewhere in the world, a girl is caught and carted off abroad like Kunta Kinte. Enslaved, she's trained in this art of war. No, not the one by Sun Tzu. The one that steals a girl's body and turns it into a naked weapon, and every night the girl be praying, Lord, when will you send the Harriet Tubman to come save me from my slavery? Somewhere in Nigeria is a little lady, Fati. She's barely 12, but there goes her wedding bells. This very girl still learning to wear her sanitary pad. We'll be starting a family now, because wedlock beckons on at 14. She's nursing her second son, a child. A child bearing the weight of childbearing somewhere in Nigeria is a scared girl begging, please stop. But you know how the story goes, boys will be boys. The law turns a blind eye, the bastard goes scot-free. I guess justice is too costly at best. We give the girl the courtesy of a hashtag. Somewhere in Nigeria is you. You turn your wife's body into canvas. You are Da Vinci, the great painter. You paint her black and blue, but she don't pack or move. No, she is like a wife of Lot. A pillar of salt, stuck in a spot, watching her home burn down. But she can't run now because she's been taught that a good wife is like diapers. Always dare to take your shit in. So hey woman, the move is clockwise. It is action o'clock, we are past talk time. On your mark, get set, is work time. Walk out of the chalk line for a long time. The crime scene has been marked with our blood. When will our bloodline move out of this victimhood? If you love to travel, Gulliver says there's a city called Everything Good, where a dream is valid even when he wears a bra. Even after she bears a child, woman, I've seen you in different costumes enough to know that fear does not look good on you. It is a shitty outfit. Stay open, but don't let the doubt in, woman. What are you standing there for? We have a journey to prepare for. You can choose to stay dolled up or stuck up in a spot like a mannequin, but I am my sisters. We make move, I am my sisters. We break through, I am my sisters. We are on the way to the airport because I am my sisters. Our dreams are taking flight. Thank you.
Can I just say, God bless you. God bless you. That is so clearly done. Oh. Can we please give her another round of applause? And you need to take a look at her face again because you will see her go places.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Mona Lisa. This event is so strategic. And why do I say that? This is perhaps the ending, the final week of the commemoration of the month of International Women's Day. And it's so instructive because whatever we take away from here takes us into the rest of the year. It sets the platform, it emboldens the conversation, and it opens up the spaces for people from here to collaborate and take the message out. I think sometime last month, I was going through Instagram, and there was something that Mona Lisa put up on her page, and she said, "Dear woman, be bold, be you, be true." And she often does that, she just puts messages up. And one thing I know is that a lot of people don't know that those messages, they save lives. It's very instructive. You don't know who's reading and how that affects that person. And I can tell you that when we look at such messages, it is the reason why a lot of people are not coming out to say they want to commit suicide. Because somewhere online, someone's life is being changed offline. I heard Moses say something. She said, dreams in a diary. There are so many women whose dreams are on diaries, but they can't even speak birth or life to it because of the kind of environment that we're in. I listened to Uncle Zulu talk about women's participation. One of the things that I do in my everyday life is advocacy for women. Looking at issues of mainstreaming the voices of the unheard in places where they can be heard. And this for me was very strategic. In 2019, I went to run elections. I went to run an election in a state that is so misogynistic, in a local government that has never had a female run for any office, in a party that was unknown and the youngest member. And at the time, a lot of people thought I was going to commit suicide because they said, how could you leave this fantastic job and go into the hinterlands, and so they called it, and want to run for election. But then I said I was tired. I was tired because it seemed like everything I was saying, while as a broadcaster, no one was listening because the gap between the leadership and the led was so wide. And so the question was, what was it that was really needful for those people at those spaces? And it occurred to me when I got into the community space that a lot of the bills, a lot of the policies that are shaped at the center does not have any relativity or relationship with those in the communities. It's almost as if you're saying, on one hand, you want to go and put boreholes in a community, but they have no school. And so you have so many girls out of school. And so what that did for me was that when I ran, I was able to note three things. One, the number of girls out of school in my community who didn't have access to JAM fees and WAEC fees. Number two, the ability to have platform for girls to speak out. Number three, the ability to look at the issue of prostitution because it was such a dire case in my community at that time. I come from a local government that was a transit community. So From that community, you can go to Enugu, you can go to Port Harcourt, you can go to Owerri, you can go to Umuahia. So a lot of the girls are always on the move because they are out of school. And I can tell you that daring to run is winning. Is daring not at all, is a loss. And when I got out of the election, what it did for me when I went back into broadcasting was to redefine what really is women's participation in politics. And I think that was the essence and the messaging to take from there. And I'm saying this because I'm also trying to say this to the women in this room. But don't wait till you're in a political party. You are the political party. Don't wait till you're on the ballot. You are the first point of the ballot. Don't wait till you say, I don't have somebody that is sponsoring me. Your dreams can get up that diary and become somebody's sponsor. And again, I read through the gender roles that Auntie Betty Rabo wrote here on the brochure, and there was something she said. She said, well, other women, the conversation, my experience is that women will support you when you bring value to the table. Not out of some sense of entitlement based on emotions or sentiments and the assumption that a woman means that other women owe you some loyalty. What is your value? As a woman, what are you bringing to the table? And it's not about currency.
Yes, sir.
Because the currency is what you carry and how you express it where you are. And if you don't do anything about it, it will still be a dream, like Bossa said, in a diary. And so for us women, I think our narrative, our mindset, our understanding of reaching out should change. And I put it down to this. We need to collaborate and not compete. We need to refer and not refuse. We need to applaud and not admonish. And we need to listen and not judge. And most importantly, we need to pull up and not push back. Because that happens a lot. And I want to say that the next assembly is about to take place and take shape. The 10th assembly. In the 9th assembly, Nigerian women, over 5,000 coalition of us were in front of the National Assembly for 3 weeks, protesting for them to pass the 5 gender bills. These bills were one, for women to have citizenship rights, for women to be able to have 35% affirmative action both in appointed positions and in political parties, for women to have extra seats, 111 across the whole geopolitical zones according to their senatorial seats. Now, these whole 5 bills, including to end gender-based violence, these whole 5 bills were stepped down by the 9th assembly. So what they were saying is, yes, continue gender-based violence. Yes, we don't want women in the political space. Yes, women should not get citizenship right. Yes, women should not be indigenous. Yes, there is no more that we can't allow 35% affirmative action. And you can imagine that even in that space, before that those bills were stepped down, there were signatures that were gathered from these men. They signed and said, we will support you, don't worry. We have passed these bills already and we are going to make sure it flies. The day the bills were prepared and presented at the plenary, all the bills failed. So out of all the numbers, maybe only 3, perhaps 3 women in the senatorial seat, or maybe 3 in the House of Rep. Now we even have an abysmal number going back to the assembly. Nigeria is ranking 54 out of 54 African countries in women's representation. 182 out of 194 across the world, according to International Parliamentary Union. And yet we say we are the giant of Africa. So Now the question is, how do we remedy this? What is the way forward? The elections are gone. There are off cycles in November. The just 3 states, Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo. But how are we preparing from this experience for 2027? Because if you look at the private organizations and the private sector, women are leading in the banks. We have top CEOs. How can we not replicate that statistics in politics? Solutions. 1, we must have a policy literate women's space. How many of our women know the Constitution? How many of our women know the revised gender policy? How many of our women know the VAB Act? We must begin to own our policies, understand it so that we can investigate it when we don't get outcomes.
God bless you.
If we are not literate about our policies, they will continue tokenisms. And what policies does is that it legitimizes your outcomes. And so we must go back to becoming hungry, to study our constitution, to look at our policies. How does it affect me as a woman? And I think that is where the power even begins, because when the men see that you know, and that you're asking questions, they will sit up. And then finally, I will say this. Women keep walking towards deadlines without understanding the lifetimes. It is not how fast. It is what is the purpose of your speed? Where are you headed? Because when you understand, it is then going to evaluate itself, and then you can say how well. I'm thinking about whenever I have conversations with my mentees or I'm on programs, one of the things they ask me is, what's next, Auntie Adora? Where are we going with all this? I mean, we've heard it all. Summits, we're talking, conference, we gather here today, tomorrow, another communique, and get into the space. Who will mentor us further? How do we, I want to, okay, you asked me, I want to be in this place at this relationships. There is such a thing as a second time, but a second chance is very expensive. And I'm saying the next generation of girls can only be as great if we also empower the next generation of boys. The men here today, some of them came with their wives because they understand. They are in those spaces, they read. Please, a round of applause for them. So future husbands who will know not to abuse their wives physically or emotionally. Our sons are also the future advocates that speaks up where there is unfairness. The prosperity of our next generation of girls and the possibility of their entire prosperity depends on enabling the environment to also accommodate the education of our next generation of boys. Because without them, we are back to 360. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's not just your wig I want now. I want your dress and I want your speech. Come on! Let's go!
sister, Monalisa. Do you all know that we are actually meeting for the first time? Wow. Yes, we've been talking online, we've been talking on phones when she was is it the PRO for Actors Guild? So as PROs, we're working together. And from the very first day, she showed me that she is a person that lifts women and gives opportunity. I said opportunity, I may be an SP, it's a big rank in the police, but there are kind of places I've not been, there are kind of a lot of things I've not seen, because in our own world, it's different. And she gave me that opportunity. I want to say thank you to her. And also the amazing speakers. Wow. I'm getting to meet some of my role models, those who have been watching since I was a child, like my little girl here. I've been watching Goge Africa. And when I came here, I came in immediately, I saw them. I was like, wow, so happy to meet you. I've been watching your show since I was a little girl. He said, I know you don't watch anymore because I'm busy. No, I watch. I follow all the clips. And I really, it is an honor to stand here and speak to these amazing people. Well, as a cop, it's been challenging. It's not easy to get to where I am today. My story is very interesting, but here am I today with you. And I also made a name. When I got married, I told my husband that I'm not changing my name, my surname. I will continue using my father's name because my father is late, and I want people to know that name because it's not common. So I was like, I have to be somebody. You must Google Josephine and see my name one day. So after listening to all these amazing speakers, I see a kind of a lot of things I've done. I am happy that I took that stand, and it's like I'm doing the right thing, and it has gotten me somewhere. Antipose was talking about women. When you come into the room, the first thing a woman will say, who do I know here? She too they feel. And that is what they always say about me in our organization. They see me, they say, no be Josephine, she too they feel. The girl can enter, sha. Yes. Anything that will get me up there. What if it's legal? I will do it. I can smile. I can be straight, my face can be straight up, but not because I am feeling. Sometimes it's the insecurity. Like, wow, do I fit in? Can I do it? Am I up to this person? So I just close my eyes, I will just bone my face and just walk elegantly. You will think that I have confidence. I don't do. So in our own world as police officers, women most especially, we have some challenge. Like the men are always men, but you need to push them. There are some places you cannot go, some duties you cannot do. We get harassed sexually, we get beaten up by suspects. I was beaten up on my first assignment. They beat me. And when my DPO came, I was like, the DPO was my first boss.
When he came, he was like, you said, waiting, carry you go there, you be man. I said, Oga, I'm a police officer. No matter what, whether I'm a man or woman, I can do it. I want to do it. He said, okay, they don't beat you now. Now who beat you? But that didn't let my guards down. I always pushed through. I was working with one commissioner of police, Frank Mba. Yes, most of you know him. Yeah. When I came to his office, I was like, sir, one day I will sit under your seat. He said, then you have to work hard. Anything they do in that office, I will always be asking them, how is it done? I'm not kind of a person that can speak in public. But he always tells me that you have to, if you want to be a PRO. I say, how can I do it? I learned from my juniors, the junior officer. I brought him here because he's one of those who were like, man, I trust you can do it. He's one of my backbones, and he's a man. I'm sure most of you expected my husband to be the one. My husband too is also a police officer. Yes. When I entered the police during that time, it was challenging because policemen don't like to marry women police. And I saw this fine young man, I was like, this one will pass me, I will work hard. If you are a senior police officer, you can't marry a junior police officer. And then I started reading hard. Admitted as a cadet inspector, just because of the man I want to be. And I worked hard, I came up to the rank of an ASP. He's an assistant commissioner of police now, and behold, today we are husband and wife. Wow. So, I learned to acknowledge our people.
And you cannot stand on a platform like this and acknowledge those who actually helped to propel.
This is like a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect to actually have an opportunity to speak. So my name is Tabitha Harrison Abimiku. I'm the founder and the executive director for Virtuous Reusable Sanitary Pads. So we manufacture reusable sanitary pads here in Nigeria. Our pads are also NAFDAC approved. So we started because during some of our outreaches, we discovered that a lot of girls, menstruation, you don't have a choice. Once it's time for you to menstruate, you menstruate. So hearing from the girls what they use as alternative was really, really heartbreaking to us. Some of them use newspapers. Some of them use, like, they reuse their disposable pads, like they would wash it to use again. Yes. And some of them, because they are not sure of what they are using, they would rather stay back at home. So missing 3 to 5 days out of school every month. So when you calculate at the end of the year, they are missing 10% out of an entire academic year. And we're here talking about gender equality. How can you talk about gender equality if these girls don't get to remain in school? You have to remain in school to even become somebody. So that was really the motivating factor for us. And we went into research and came up with the reusable sanitary pad. And I can tell you that we have a lot of impact stories. Girls that are now confident to remain in school, because they don't have to think about sanitary pads, because these pads can be used for more than a year. So that means for the whole year, they are so relaxed that, oh, I don't have to suffer or beg. Some of these girls will actually prostitute. It's like when you have to look for a means of getting sanitary towel, you understand how fast some of these girls will have to go just to get themselves, something that they can really be confident about. So we are really, really excited to see how the impact has been. For a whole year, they are confident that they can be able to, go to school without, feeling like maybe scared of getting stained. There was a story in 2020 Ekele for the information. Ekele Atusiba, he gave me the information. So my name is Uchenna Judith. I'm the founder of Nneka Moses. And last time my shoe stand is outside there actually. So I make shoes. Initially it was just male footwears, but gradually we introduced some casual female designs. to the shoes, to the shoe collections. But right now, we are also trying to explore and connect to the military, the DSS, to make boots and supply to them. So that's what we are working on right now. And I want to thank you again for this privilege. Thank you.
A mechanic, you don't have to talk. Let's give our both and nods.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for this privilege. I sincerely appreciate. I'm Longdi Nachi, here to represent Mrs. Juliet Moses. Okay, so it all started in 2019. After secondary school, I was working in a bookshop as a sales girl. So my cousin had a mechanic workshop. So she organized a program for ladies where teamed Girl Toto squad. So we all went as a family to support her. On getting there, her father, my uncle, was like, why not take this opportunity? Because I was so excited when I saw the ladies in boots and overall. I was really excited. He now asked me, take this opportunity. I now said, sir. He said, go and meet the ladies and have a seat there. He now called my cousin and asked her, can she join them? He said yes. He now asked me to take a seat, and that was how it started. Getting after the induction, I went home. I was so excited that I partook in the program. She now called me and said, where are you? I said, I'm at home. She said, are you not coming to work? I said, which work? She now said, you thought the induction you did was just a joke. Now come and get your hands on work. I now took some of my clothes and came to town to stay with my cousin. That was how it all started. Getting to the field, it was really awesome. But it was very easy as well because we had tools that helped us work because it's a well-equipped workshop. So that was how it all started. We are about 100 ladies. After the training, initially she was supposed to partner with FCT ministers to get the ladies to work after the program, but it was impossible due to one or two factors. So afterward, she graduated the ladies and got them job in other mechanic workshop, and so that was how we all had something to do with our hands. Then I got to school in 2020. That was when I got admission to school, and God so kind, that was what I was able to use to get some little change when I'm broke and all. So all I have to say is, I don't know, I'm really inspired by what everyone has said today. I wanted to say I'm the youngest in the room, but then I saw the little girls in the house. So all I have to plead with my parents, all of my parents, yes, my mothers, my fathers, is I don't know if there's any girl out there, my pastor said, you don't need to go out and start somewhere, you can actually start at your domot. So if there's any girl, probably the lady that sells akara, if her daughter is dreaming about, you can help her out. And in my workshop at Auto Ladies Synergy Garage, we also do training for ladies. If you can help any lady, that would be great. So I pray God help everyone here. Thank you very much for this privilege.
The opportunity, thanks for the platform. Thank you. Let me just go straight to the point. I'm a chef, I'm a sailor, and I'm a restaurateur. One thing I want people, maybe let me use the word young people, to know we all are aware of the joblessness in our continent and in our country. You need to, don't get distracted by the reality in Africa or in Nigeria. I mean, you can start just like what the young lady said, I can't remember her name, the young engineer mechanic. You can start in your own little way. But one thing you need to realize and keep and be consistent with is have a dream. Be consistent. Try to get a mentor. Just don't follow people because of their religion or because of their tribe. Try and look at it objectively and look at that person irrespective of their gender. I know we are in a gender inclined fora, but this is a problem we all have, irrespective of the gender, male, female. I can say this for sure. I mean, I have gotten to where I am today because of consistency. When I started as a chef, I had to look at the reality around me to think, how do I get to where I want to eventually get to?
Confess that I've never seen, you know, a better organized room with very beautiful women like this. And also, let me also say that women are the crown of God's perfect creation. In an economy or in any family where you don't find women, I will show you families that are in total distress. So Mona Lisa, thank you very much for this beautiful, beautiful gathering we are having this evening. And I must say that I'm always very passionate when issues about women are being discussed. When issues about women are being discussed. Maybe because of the work I do, I'm a director with NAPTIP, and NAPTIP stands for the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. And we are the federal government organization that has been entrusted with the job of combating human trafficking in Nigeria. And again, I'm sure that most of you must have heard so much about the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. Yes. And when somebody was speaking, I can't remember who was talking, she talked about the importance of us going back to read, going back to study some of these policies, some of these acts. Yes, somebody mentioned that, and I thought that was very, very instructive. Because one thing about Nigeria is that we are very good at making policies. We are very, very, very good at writing, documenting, act, policies, books, but we don't read it. And another problem we have in this country is that we have these good policies, but we have a problem. And the problem we have is that implementing it. And most of the time you find out that people do not even know the content of this policy. The Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act is domiciled with NAPTIP to administer. So we are the official and legal administrators of the VAP Act. And everything about the VAP Act, more than 80% of the crimes in the VAP Act are crimes that concern women. Have you taken time to Google? Have you taken time to download the VAP Act and read it? Please take time and read this thing, because information is always key to everything you're doing. And Mona Lisa, I must also say this, that I'm happy when I was looking at your thematic area, I saw child labor. But I enjoy you to equally look at the VAP Act and include some of the crimes in the VAP Act, because the crimes in the VAP Act are so feminized. Most of them affect women so much. So look at it, you will see spousal battery, you will see incest, you will see widowhood practices and all this. And all this crime I'm talking about, they are the crime that defames and renders, desolate, the integrity of women. So please look into the VAP Act and see some of the thematic areas there, some of the crimes that you are also going to include in your advocacy, especially spousal battery, because on a daily basis, we get a lot of cases of spousal battery. In fact, there was a one I dealt with the other time. This woman was beaten to such an extent that her tympanic membrane, if you still remember your biology, the husband gave her a very big blow on the ear, and some liquid gushed out from her ear. And automatically, do you know what that means? The woman stopped hearing, because already the, what do they call it? The beating or the boxing on the ear broke the liquid that is supposed to, So the moment that liquid gushed out from her ears, the woman ceased hearing. So a lot is happening about spousal battery. So look into the VAP Act and see some of the very important crimes that concern women that will form part of your advocacy. And secondly, I want to also say that this sociological stereotyping on the female gender that I call it gender misconception, because some of these things is not, God did not create women to be inferior. God did not create women not to achieve. These are sociological stereotyping that is being given to women by the society. And it's also giving us a lot of, it's coming with a lot of consequences, because this stereotyping fuels human trafficking. Because most of the victims of human trafficking are mainly girls. And most of the time, the families are involved in trafficking their children, because they believe that the female gender, they are lesser So what is the origin of the stereotyping? Wrong stereotyping of the society ascribed to the female gender. Not because God created you inferior, no way. Because I used to tell them that when it comes to the cognitive domain, when it comes to gray matter, women are not inferior. So God did not create women inferior. It's just the society that are giving the gender, the female gender, this wrong stereotyping that is leading to human trafficking, that is making families to send their children out for human trafficking, that is leading to the crime of violence against persons, because the spousal battery, the incest, and some of these crimes against women are because of this stereotyping. So we need to include all of this in our advocacies. And I believe in constant talking. You know, because in my English class, I was taught that repetition is for emphasis.
Okay, this gathering is so superb that I think I'm being swallowed up right now. Thank you so much for, I was sitting there and I heard everyone, and this one, what you have done today, it's like wake up, wake up, wake up everyone. And we are in the industry where the female are being looked at as if they're, if you're doing something, they say, this one is pretty, what can you deliver? It's because you have a pretty face, it's not the brain talking and all of that. I'm hearing these great women today standing here and speaking out and teaching us and telling us the way to go is a good thing to be part of the system. You know, I'm in the industry where I am more like the servant, and I try to stand in the gap for a lot of people and try to see how we can push them forward. One of the things that we do in what I handle, you know, so I have a company called 1% International, and I always say that we're the platform for top 1%. So in this gathering is the top 1%. So as we step out, each and every one of us, it's a woman, and then they say if you train a lady, you train a village and all of that. So we're here to move forward with whatever thing that we're taking from everyone that have spoken today. We're taking something home to pay it forward to others. And I'm saying thank you so much for bringing us and making sure that we do the right thing and speak up when we're supposed to speak up. And then no matter how we are, how we look, black, white, yellow, dress, we also have to make a mark and show that we present what we are for real. Thank you so much for having me.
It's such a delight to be here, and thank you so much to Senior Monalisa for this amazing platform, amazing opportunity that you've given to girls and young people. We see you, and we just want to use this opportunity to say we are very proud of you, and thank you for shining your light and lighting the path for other women to follow. That being said, my name is Barrister Esther Nneka. I'm the CEO of Starquest for Women in Africa Foundation. Our foundation is, we advocate for women empowerment, especially underprivileged women and children that are out of school. And over the years, we have carried out so many empowerment programs, vocational skill acquisition programs for women. We have carried out back-to-school challenges for out-of-school children. We've also done a lot of youth empowerment. We just want to use this opportunity to say that women have what it takes. Women can have it all. You can have a successful career, you can have a family, and you can also do what you set your mind to do. So we just want to encourage all women here. This month is March. We celebrate womanhood. We celebrate where we have come from. Because looking back, a few decades ago, women never had the opportunities that we have now. And a lot of women had to do things to give us the opportunity we have now. When they started, it was this woman is doing the wrong thing. She's supposed to be limited into this box. You know, women were put in this box, and we've had to stand up for our rights. And right now, we are being accepted generally. And I must say that we are doing so well. Thank you to all the women that are lighting the path. Thank you to all the women that have refused to take the stereotype and say yes. I must be something more than a woman. Thank you to all the women that have refused to say a woman's place is the kitchen. Thank you to all the women that, you know, I refuse to stay in the other room.
In the other room, but
thank you to all the women that have used their platforms, their lives, you know, to make sure that the upcoming generation have a better life than we have. And we celebrate you. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
The third time I did not need to jump fence, I strong out. I came back, I gave my mother 500,000 naira. Someone that her salary is 18,500. That is like 2 years' salary. My mother looked at me. She said, "The patience for sale. You were only 3 months in this my stomach when I knew by the Spirit of God you would be a comedian." Money can change anybody's life. When your parents see money, they will change your destiny by themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, to round up and to just encourage us and to support us and to just speak with his very, very audacious voice, celebrate with me the legendary Mr. Moses Isaac as he comes forward.
Beautiful women among the few guys here. I mean, don't you guys feel special? Yeah? Zik Zulu, my man. Thank you, Lisa, for giving the women this opportunity. You see, the truth is that women don't seem to understand the role they play in society. What you want will not be given to you on a platter. However, you can demand it, but do not be confrontational about it. Because men, we kind of feel, we have a complex. We want to believe at all times that our women they don't compete with us. We don't want to feel that they're in competition with us. So how you demand something where men are in control matters a whole lot. Yes. Now, if women dares to take advantage of their numerical advantage, I'm very sure that honestly, if any woman comes out to contest any position, she'll win. So I dare to ask, so why don't women vote other women who are contesting elective positions? Why? That is what I don't seem to understand. Right? Now, I have been running Goge Africa Worldwide Limited, an Afrocentric culture and tourism TV show for over 25 years with my wife and partner, Nneka. And thank you. It's not really about, it's not a competition. I know that if you put your cards face up before a woman and she knows that you have her back, honestly, there's nothing stopping. You just win her trust. And we work as partners. And I'm this kind of guy who believes that good reason must, of course, give place to better. So if you are objective and listen, you know that women are smart, they are beautiful, and they are also very understanding. So if you give them a platform, oh man, women would soar. They would. So I don't see what stops women from contesting elective positions. And now the affirmative actions that women would wish fulfilled, it's not impossible. But I think, Adora, I think it's just the approach. And again, men are a bit afraid. They are afraid. They are afraid. That's the truth. That is the truth. Oh yes. So it's not, honestly, men and women were not created to compete among each other, but they're supposed to be partners. They're supposed to collaborate. And I don't understand why a woman who has a first-class degree in the university will be locked up in a house
It doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense. She's not, I mean, the man is losing. It's a choice, right? So now, I grew up in the North. And I went to school with a lot of brilliant women. And I'm surprised that they accept to stay not contributing to the society, to the community, just staying in the house, in a cool environment. And when you interact with these women, well, as soon as they get married, you don't have the access to them. You don't have any more access to these ladies. Even seeing them has to be on a special arrangement. So, I dare say to women, it's not your fault if your dreams don't come true. It's not your fault if your fantasies don't turn to reality, according to Martin Luther King Jr. It's your fault if you don't have fantasies. It's your fault if you don't have dreams. So I say to all the women, please, dare to dream. It won't be, I mean, if your dreams don't turn to reality, it won't be your fault. But at least dare to dream. So I'll say to all the women here, please, stand up and be counted. Yes. And please, a big round of applause to all the women here. And for the men who support their women. Ah, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Very utmost attention as we cut this cake. Well, I'm not much for talking about the colors of the cake and stuff like that, but demanding it well, the approach with which we demand. As we cut this cake, let it mark the beginning of the shining forth of every woman here. Let every woman go back and what you have gotten from this place, hand over to the next person and know that whoever has helped you get to this point, it is time for you to pay it forward. Let a woman who has risen allow other women rise. Don't rise alone. As you step up, please put down a hand. Draw up another woman. Another woman draws up another woman. And that's the way to go. Alright, as we cut this cake, we cut as we spell. What do we spell? Arise. Arise. Alright, everybody, give me an audacious A. Give me a rising R. Give me an interesting I. Give me a sensational S. And give me an excellent E. Everyone shout,
Alright. Use her money to buy the cake that we are eating now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for coming. The he for she's especially, thank you so much. I know I'm talking to myself, but it's okay. It's okay. I just want us to do this more often.
Have you removed it?
You know, this does not take so much. To put this together, it's a collaborative effort. And we're all here together. Bondsmith collaborated with this. Nneka and Zik Moses collaborated with me. Even the speakers, they didn't come here for, I didn't pay anybody to be here to help with all of this. And Connect Super helped with the content, putting the content together. My team, Sandra, everybody, they work tirelessly. The volunteers, oh, they're not even here to appreciate. We love you. We love you. Thank you so much. Trisha, that came all the way from Lagos today. She's not feeling too well, but she said she was so happy. Thank you so much. Mr. and Mrs. Arise, they've been with me since Plus TV Africa. I think that, I don't know, she's not okay, she's here. She's been wonderful. She's been with me with her own charity. She also runs a charity organization. So we'll be collaborating as well. I'm even shocked because I didn't mention this to her. Probably she must have seen it that she's here. Thank you so much, Sheila. And thank your loving husband for supporting you, the hip for she's. Thank you, and God bless you as you go home. Thank you so much.
Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for being you. Lisa, you know you're a sweet person. You know you have a good heart. You know you're a good person from inside, deep inside. A lot of people see you and they see the yellowness. They see the wow. They see the wow. This girl is real. She's a true human being. And we love you. That's why we came all the way from Lagos. Here, just for you. You deserve more.
This is the way we roll.
And like I was saying that people see the yellowness. It's not the yellowness, God. It's not the yellowness.
Where's the music now? We got people.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I say the final word for the day?
I know you.
I don't care how nice they say you are if I don't get a red diary.
I went to
I'm black. If I don't get a red diary, that I have a red diary, the event is officially over.
I don't understand. Who gave a red diary?
The event is officially over. My name is Nneka Moses. I have kind of been working with Rita, Queen Rita. Amazing afternoon. Thank you so much for making our day. Go home safe and have a fabulous 2023.